Welcome back. Now I want to take a couple minutes to look at contribution because we all define contribution in different ways. And part of the problem sometimes as givers and as people that truly genuinely want to help people is that we define contribution in a way that does not serve us sometimes. For example, we may define contribution as only to others. So we look at contributions and what we do to give only when we're giving to other people. However, what most people fail to look at is that contribution is equally, and if not more important, when it comes to ourselves and how we contribute to our journey and to our purpose and to our path to helping others as well. You see, when you contribute to yourself, you can help people be a lot more successful in many different ways. In fact, many people that are game changers or people that truly contribute to their society are those individuals that have taken the time to contribute to themselves first. It's kind of like the oxygen mask again. You have to put it on yourself. And if you can do that, you can find different ways as an example because you're more skilled, you're more empowered yourself, you have more ability to be able to contribute at many different ways. In fact, a lot of research has shown that individuals that truly contribute at a larger scale are those individuals that spent time alone, quality time, because that time alone helps us define who we are and how we can contribute and how we can help not only ourselves, but other people in different ways. Also, that time alone helps us become more creative, create more ideas, creative in the way that we approach life. And it also allows ourselves to grow, whether it's educationally, spiritually, personally, emotionally, whatever it is. So again, contribution, how we define it, is very important. And contribution should be defined primarily in how we give to ourselves just as much as we give to other people. Another aspect of contribution that many people associate it with self-sacrifice, except self-sacrifice actually does more harm than good in many ways. You see, when you associate self-sacrifice, you can't truly help others fully if your cup is empty. So seeing contribution not as self-sacrifice, but something as that we do as an act of kindness, of love, of giving. When our cup is full, we can give a lot more. And I'll give you a perfect example. I was one because I am a giver. I am a person that generally wants to help people. I had a major issues with saying no. And one of the things that happened is that truly I was very limited, whether it was financially, whether it was my skills, whether it was my time, to contribute to myself at all, because I was always trying to help other people with the problems. Even though their problems were kept reoccurring, I kept having to try to help them with the same thing over and over and over again. So it was almost like they had a dependency on me helping, and I had a dependency, emotional need to help as well. But what I ended up having to do when my brother passed away is that I needed to reflect on my life and what I wanted in my journey. So what I did was that I cut out a lot of people that weren't really contributing to my life and my growth, people that were truly limiting me in a lot of ways. And it wasn't that I wasn't there for them as friends and things like that, but I really limited my time. I said, I'm going to dedicate this time, at least a year, to contributing to me. And what ended up in that time is that I found a way to create more balance. I went back to school, and instead of failing this time, I ended up getting straight A's, one for my bachelor's, master's, PhD, and so on. But what ended up happening was that because I was better equipped to help others, I was more effective. I was able to help in a financial way, if I needed to, family and friends. I was able to contribute at a deeper level. So instead of maybe working one-on-one, now I've worked with tens of thousands of people from all over the world. So my contribution became even better, able to reach masses, able to even serve as an example to other people. And a lot of people that I've crossed my journey have told me that I contribute just through my journey, just through what I've experienced, and as the example of a person that's been able to go from, being very limited, growing up very limited financially, emotionally, having a lot of challenges, to now being able to contribute at a larger scale. So again, by not association, contribution, self-sacrifice, and looking at yourself as a priority as well, then you're able to contribute long-term more than you would have if you didn't take that time to yourself. Another part of contribution is sometimes we see as obligation. The problem with obligation is, one, it's not sustainable, because when you feel obligated, then you create resentment and things like that, which Natalie talks about. But at the same time, it's not something that's truly effective. when it's done from obligation, it's not something that helps us grow, and it's not something that helps other people grow. And many times people tell me, well, I have to. And when you hear the word I have to, then that should be a red flag, because truly there's nothing that you have to do in life other than obviously breathe and eat. And if you have children, take care of their needs, because they are dependent on you, their basic needs and things like that. But a lot of times there's a lot of things that we associate with I have to is not truly genuine. We all have options and we all have a choice. Just like sometimes the people that we help that keep creating the same thing in their reality, they have an option as well. However, they're not having to be placed in a position that they have to look up their options and make different options, because other people keep contributing to them in a way that helps us maintain and sustain that. Another option is, remember that contribution does not have to define us. Many times we look at contribution and we define it as our ego, as people looking at us and defining us through that, and it doesn't have to define us. So if we look at contribution in a way that it helps build upon who we are instead of defining us, instead of building our ego, it can be something that has to do with passion and love and things like that, that actually makes us feel good instead of making us seem like we're something else. And I've talked to many people, and I know people personally that contribute just to be able to tell other people how they contribute. And true contribution comes from a different place. It comes naturally. Once we get to the place that we can contribute to ourselves and truly be able to fulfill our own cup, then it comes naturally. Then contribution comes from a different place, a better place, because it's something that we do out of passion, out of love, not out of dependency, whether it's emotional or something like that, and not out of obligation, and not out of a place where we're building our ego out of giving back to other people. So again, if we help change our definition and how we view contribution, if we change it to a point that we're contributing to ourselves first, which also helps us contribute later, again, self-sacrifice, looking at that, looking at our views in that, looking at what we look as obligations and I have to, and then filling our cup first to be able to truly contribute in a natural way that fulfills our life and also helps people build on their lives. Thank you.